everybody, welcome. I'm Aleeza Ben Shalom. This is Sarah Zoldan, who, wait, you have to change your name in the chat box so it says your name and not my name. I love when you do that. Anyway, we are so excited that you are here with us tonight, and we are talking all about, are you my love? Do you know that feeling where you look at somebody, you know that book, Are You My Mother? You know that book? I love that. Are you my mother? You know, like, no, I'm a cat. No, I'm a dog. No, I'm a snort. You know, like that big machine. You guys know that book? Anyway, so we want to know, are you my love? And the tagline is, when a dating opportunity knocks, how to identify a dating opportunity when it knocks so that you can answer. Or maybe you just want to like slam the door in their face and be like, bye-bye. And dating opportunity knocked, but that was not for me. Bye, see you later, not interested. So what we're going to talk about now briefly is how to identify this. How do you know if this is an opportunity or if this is just an annoying, like, knock, 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 like solicitation that is just irritation and totally a waste of your time. Okay, so first things first, everything from the get-go is an opportunity, okay? Doesn't matter if you like it, doesn't matter if you hate it. Sarah.
Sorry, I just saw a comment. Apparently there's a book called Are You My Boyfriend?
Oh, cute.
Okay, do it right now.
Adorable. So rule number one, which is not really a rule. I'm saying that because people are like, oh, what's the dating rules? But it's not a rule. It's just in the beginning, you have to look with what we call +1 perspective eyes. Your eyes are looking with +1. Are you my +1? Are you my +1? Are you my +1? Are you my opportunity? Are you something for me? Now, we're so smart that sometimes we're not so smart and we don't do the right thing and we nix an opportunity before we evaluate it if it's even an opportunity. Have you ever met those people where you think maybe they're like a little naive, they're not so intuitive, they don't really get it, they look into things that you think are ridiculous, and it's like, why are you wasting your time? And then one day they're looking into something that maybe you think is totally irrelevant, and then poof, it's their person and it ends up working out, and you're like, wow, would have never guessed that. And if it was you or me, I would have never even given it a shot. I would have been like, yeah, you know, not for me, and quickly dismissed it and move on. So basically, we go into dating like, oh, are you my love? And it is innocent until no, it is, what is it? Which way do we go? I'm going to mix this up. Anyway, it is, you are my soulmate.
Proven guilty.
Soulmate until proven not. Basically, okay. I'm going to go in with the attitude, you're my person until you prove to me that you're a really lousy human being and you are not my person. And that's what we want to do. We want you to have that attitude, because if you have that attitude, you're not going to just turn your nose up at somebody. You're not just going to say no. You're not going to write somebody off. You could sit down, you could have a meeting, you could look through a dating profile, or you could call a reference, you could get a little information, you could Facebook stalk them, you could Google stalk them, you could just stalk them all you want, because we have the World Wide Web and it connects you to everyone, everywhere, and anything that they've ever done that is public in some way is published, unless of course they are a privacy lawyer or some sort of, you know, hidden detective who doesn't want to be found, in which case they worked really hard not to be on the web. But other than that, you could probably find out information about almost anybody, almost, not quite. Okay. And some people are more public than others. But in terms of, are you my love? You look at them and you're not saying, I mean, I don't know, maybe. You're just going, you're my person until you're not my person. Oof. Bad attitude. Oh, negative comment. Oh, you didn't even let me get a word in edgewise. You're just so rude. Like, oh, right? Okay. All of those things are proving you're not my person. Now, did I go in with a bad attitude and think, well, you're probably not my person, but let me see? No. We went in with the, are you my love, right? I'm going to assume you are my love until you show me that you're not. And when you do this, it's a very different way of dating. And you're probably going to say to me, Aleeza, why would I want to do that? Why would I want to just look around the whole world and assume that you are my soulmate when you're not? Why am I doing this? This seems a little bit excessive and ridiculous. Are you just saying that anybody in the whole world has the potential to be your soulmate? okay, well, not anybody, but the anybody's that you're looking into have the potential to be your person. If only you wouldn't nix them and say no before you actually get a chance to know them. Now, I don't know if you've had this experience, but I've had this experience. I've met somebody and that intuitive judgmental side that we all have, it's not just me, we all have this, and it like quickly like makes a snap judgment and you're like, ooh, right? And I have worked really hard on myself. So any advice I'm giving you, I'm not just giving you like, oh, you should try this. I've tried it about 1,000 times also. So don't worry, I'm getting better at this. You can also get better at this. So I play a little game with myself. For how many people here like games? Comment yes if you like games. If you don't like games, sorry, this tool is not for you. I'll give you a different one. But if you do like games, I play this game of
So
like if I have a neat
not like games, is that a thing?
yeah.
Really? Like
Yeah.
any type of game?
Yeah, there are some people that are just not game people. Anyway, so I play this game with myself, and the game is, ooh, knee-jerk reaction. I don't like you. You're going to be my new best friend. You're going to be my love. I'm going to figure out how to just really put all my effort into flipping my brain to seeing the potential that I can't see right now. Because there's a lot of potential that exists in the world, if only I could see it. And so I work really hard to find the good in somebody. I work really hard to find the sweetness, to find the cute, the funny, the humor, the joy, maybe the simplicity, whatever it is. I work really hard to see somebody's essence and their greatness, because everybody has it, even if they're not your love. Everybody has something awesome about them. And if you can see that, then you've got the right glasses on. And now you have my permission to walk away. Because once you see their greatness and you go, oh no, I see their greatness, that's not my person. Good, fair evaluation, no problem. Now you can walk away. But if you walk away before you actually have the potential to see somebody's greatness, you didn't open your eyes. You only saw a part of a person. You didn't see the whole thing. And if you're not looking at the whole thing, you're not giving a fair evaluation. Now, you want somebody to give you a fair evaluation, don't you? Right. So we need to do that for them too. I know they didn't watch this webinar, so they're not all going to give you a fair evaluation. Sorry about that. I'm not super famous yet, so not as many people have seen this. But not millions, only hundreds or thousands, whatever. But people are going to catch on that when you give them the opportunity, they're going to start to give you an opportunity. And when you try to bring out somebody's greatness and you try to see who they are, and you're not leading them on, you're just trying to build a little bit of a momentum, even if it looks like you're coming to a dead end, you're going to still try to work things up a little bit, then people are going to try to do that back to you. It's kind of that law of, energy, that what you put out, you're going to get back. So that is the number one tool, and the number one thing that I want you to do is to actually look through your eyes to see the potential in everybody, and to assume that if they are in front of you, that there's somebody that needs to be evaluated. Now, for some people, you are going to know in the first 10 minutes they're not for you, and you're going to have done a quick evaluation, but you're going to be clear because there's going to be a deal breaker or something that is an absolute no. That's okay. For some people, it's going to take a date or two. For some people, it's going to take a week or two. And for some people, you're really not going to know so soon. And you're going to have to give them a month or two. There's a certain quantity of time that we need. And I can't tell you, oh, just go out for this amount of time. Like, poof, here's the magic formula. No. It doesn't work that way. It works where there's a deal breaker, we break the deal, we move on. Where there's no deal breaker, are you my love? Are you my love? I think you have the potential to be my person. And so you're going to now, like, I know what happens. We're having a conversation here, so I'm going to talk for you, okay? And you're going to say to me, but Aleeza, but they're going to like me. And what if I don't like them? And now I'm making them like me because I'm being nice to them. Oh, what a shame. And friendly to them. And I'm trying to build something here. And I really think there's nothing here. Okay, so when you're confident, 100%, there's nothing here, walk away, no problem. Until then, this is called the game of dating. Welcome to the game of life. We are going to play the game of dating. You're just going to go about the process until it's no longer for you. Now, I'm not saying lead somebody on, be overly friendly, flirt with them, pull out all the stops, and just be a great human being to hang out with. Be an amazing human being to be on a date with. Be somebody that they can relate to, that they can connect to, and try to build. If there's something there and you tried to build it, it will build. It will work. If there's nothing there and you tried to build it, it won't work in the end. You might like get a little bit into it and then it's going to crumble because what's not really there won't stick and it won't hold. I know, but Aleeza, I run the risk of leading somebody on and really breaking someone's heart. You do. You do. So we don't want to lead them on for too long. We don't want to make this a long drawn out process, but some things take longer than others. And I've seen couples who've dated for 2 months or 3 months or even 4 months and they weren't sure. And one side was in and the other side was like, maybe, are you my person? Maybe, maybe, maybe. And they did get married. And I've seen it happen numerous times. So it's not that everyone where you're maybe or I don't know won't work out. It does happen to work out over the course of time. If we evaluated how many couples, it works out with enough couples that you have to go in with an attitude of, you could be my person. And until you show me that you're not my person, I'm going to buy into this. And this is something that you have to do with your brain because your brain has to be on board to like, you have to stop self-sabotaging and ending a date before it even begins, right? You read the piece of paper and you're like, no, you're like, wait, you're in front of me. You're my person. Okay, you're my person. And this is your job. And this is where you're from. And this is your family. And this is your community. And oh, this is just so not in line with me. Well, I thought you were my love, but you're really not, right? I thought I gave you the opportunity to be that person. But I see as I'm evaluating, it's not there. I'm not going to be able to do this. Okay, so we could walk away from it. But don't come to the table every time and look at a profile and be like, probably not going to be for me. So it's probably a no unless you really prove that you're a yes. No. Everybody comes in as a yes, you're my person until you're no longer my person. And that is the key thing to do with this. It has to do with your brain. It has to do with your heart because your feelings, anybody who's an emotionally based person, you're going to be like, but I'm not feeling it, Aleeza. And I'm going to go, I know. And I'm not expecting you to feel it. And I don't care if you feel it. You're not going to feel it. Great. But you're going to try. You're going to try really hard and you're going to try to bring up a feeling. Sarah's going to tell us something or ask us.
I feel like you would be proud. Someone just commented in the chat box. Someone once said, date him till you hate him.
Yes, date him till you hate him. However, this is different. This is a different tool and we need something catchy. Maybe we'll come up with the whole thing tonight. This is, you're my soulmate until you're not. I am assuming everybody I meet and I date, you are my person until proven that you are not my person. Somebody come up with a catchphrase
soulmate
for that.
Proven otherwise.
Yeah, but it's not as catchy as date them till you hate them. We need like a little rhyme there.
Where's the intellectual?
You're my mate, let's date.
You're my mate, let's date.
You're my mate, let's date. Okay, thank you, Kim. You're my mate, let's date. That's the mantra. In your mind, you're going, you're my mate, let's date. You're my mate, let's date, right? You're assuming you're my mate. You're my mate. You're my mate until we decide you're not. So I love it. Thank you. That is perfect. You're my mate, let's date. That's it. We could have called this You're My Mate, Let's Date, but we called it Are You My Love?
And you want to hear something funny? As I'm inputting the information in our spreadsheets, I just realized we had a webinar called Are You My Soulmate? Neither of us remembered that.
Oh, well, this is different. It's Are You My Love?
100%. The content is different. It's just funny. Someone else said, you're my mate till you ain't.
You're my mate until you ain't. Oh, I like that one too. You're my mate. I'm writing this down.
Follow-up question that just came in.
Yep.
So are you saying that you should only meet one person at a time if this is the attitude?
That's my Aleeza preference. Yes. You're not going to like that answer. Sorry. But ideally, that's in an ideal world. Ideal world. Okay. Ideal world. Yes. We only date one person at a time. Reality doesn't always happen. We deal with what comes in. Wait, before we continue, go ahead.
How hard are you supposed to try?
Yeah, date them till you hate them. You try. You really try. So it's you're my mate until you ain't, right? And then if you're like, but I don't know should be your new best friend. Those 3 words, I don't know. If you're saying that, good job. And once you're like, oh, I can't do this anymore. I just can't. I don't have the energy. It's upset. It's just, I cannot take another date. Okay. We're done. Bye-bye. We're okay. We're over. Okay.
Wait,
Before we get
got
into
one more?
Q&A.
We got one more.
Yeah.
You're my could be. So let's see.
I'm writing it down. You're my could be. So, because we're not going to remember this.
Was last week proof of that?
Yes. Okay, you're my could be. So let's see. You're my mate until you ain't. You're my mate. Let's date. Okay, we're working on it. I love it. Teamwork, everybody. It will be the new mantra. And when people say, "Where'd you get that from?" We're gonna be like, "From a webinar, from one of our amazing participants." Okay, so while you're brainstorming all these crafty ideas of how we say this in one catchphrase that we're going to memorize forever, what I want to do is say a super big thank you to our sponsor, which is Fast Pass to Love. If you don't know about Jessica Fast and Fast Pass to Love, you just Google them, fastpasstolove.com, and you'll learn all about her. She is an international matchmaker, award-winning international matchmaker. She has been working with singles around the globe, and she has an entire team of matchmakers and support staff that are helping her singles to find their mate and go on a date until they ain't or whatever. So you should check her out. And we are so grateful that she is our sponsor. We are also collaborators in the business. We work together. You know, I send her clients, she sends me clients, and I believe in collaboration, not competition. We have also been running events together. So if you're like, Aleeza, would you please run events? No more webinars. We want to see each other. We're running events. Events. If you go to marriagemindadventure.com and you look on our page, it says events, and then you can check out what's there. But it's not super updated today because there's like 3 big things coming up that Sarah is going to update after this webinar.
When I find out about them. Yep.
Yep. So you can check those out later, but you can always go to our events page. You can go to our webinars page, and we have what do we have, Sarah? 33 or 34 webinars now. And our events are all virtual. We went virtual. I am sorry, we are not in person, but we went virtual, and we are bringing somewhere. Sometimes we have 30 people in an event. Sometimes it's speeding breakout rooms with, group dating. Sometimes we do one-on-one speed dating. We've been using Filter Off. If you're familiar with that, we have an event that's coming up in February. And people have been saying, please, Aleeza, please, older singles. We want older singles. So you do the 20s and the 30s and the 40s. Please, will you also do the 50s? Hi, I'm doing the 50s for you. You asked enough. There will be, I believe, I'm going to double check, 2 events that are in the 50s. One is on Valentine's Day for 50s plus. We're going to have a very Jewish Valentine's Day.
Awesome. And Jessica just dropped the link in the chat box. So if that's something you're interested in.
Thank you, Jess. And she's going to pop on at the end of the webinar to say hi.
Yay.
All right. Do we have Q&A now?
We do.
Our favorite part of this. We're ready. Do we need to do it speed, or we can go normal speed?
We can go normal speed for now.
Okay.
All right. If you see during the date that the other person isn't into it, or they're not seeing your greatness, what are some ways to change their perspective in the middle of the date?
Okay. So I play this game. I'm going to get you to like me. I am going to get you to be connected to me. I am going to get you to smile. I am going to get you to laugh. You are going to see my greatness. If you still want to dump me afterwards, no problem. But I am going to just be a rock star. And maybe you'll introduce me to your friend, because if you don't like me and I'm not for you, no problem. But maybe I'll be for somebody else. Ooh. So I would turn on the energy. I would smile. You see this? I look in the mirror all the time and I practice smiling. Do you know that? Do you know that weird fact about Aleeza? Aleeza practices.
I don't know that.
Do you know that my face hurts from smiling sometimes because I smile too much? Do you ever get that, Sarah? Do you smile too much that your face hurts?
All the time.
Right. So, okay. So, but I get that like every week. I only get that away. I get that all the time, but I've worked so hard that my muscles are actually much stronger and it doesn't hurt as much anymore because I just do it so often. Anyway, your smile. your eyes, your curiosity, your voice. You can have an excited tone. You can like get, ooh, curious and interested, lean in. You can whisper. You can create a little bit of energy. So you have to ask questions. You have to get curious and you have to share information. So if somebody says to you, where are you from? And I'm like, oh yeah, Philadelphia. That just ended the conversation. But you answered their question. They only asked me where I was from. I told them where I was from. Okay, well, just because they don't know how to ask a question doesn't mean that you don't know how to answer it. Don't, well, actually, we're going to save this. So we'll really dig into this another time, but don't answer the question that somebody is asking. Answer a question to tell a story. Answer a question to give more information. If they say where you're from, you can say, oh, Philly, born and raised in Philly. I went to Pitt for university, came back home to Philly. I was in Israel for a year, then came back home to Philly. Like, kind of been here my whole life, right? So much more interesting than where you from. And I say Philadelphia. Like, it's not enough. What am I going to do with you? And they're like, oh, that's nice. What do you do? And you're like, oh, I'm a dating coach. They're like, oh, that's nice. And then they have to keep asking you questions because you're giving one word boring
Like
answers.
an interview and 21 questions.
Yeah. And we want you to sparkle. So if somebody is not seeing your greatness, then A, they're not, having a +1 perspective and looking with the "Are you my love" lens. And B, you're not sparkling. And don't tell me, well, they didn't bring it out in me. They didn't draw it out. I don't feel like it. I don't care if you feel like it. It's like exercise. We do it whether you feel like it or you don't feel like it because it's good for your body. It's like drinking water. We do it whether you feel like it or you don't, because if you're not, you get dehydrated. We do it because this is the way that it's supposed to be to get the best results. You don't feel like it, so don't go out on a date. Don't go out on a date. I don't feel like it. I'm just never going to put my best effort in. I mean, if they draw me out, then I'll be amazing. But if they don't draw me out of my skin or my shell, or if they don't ask good questions, I'm not going to make an effort. I mean, Aleeza, I don't know how to do that. I'm not an actress. I'm not like you. I don't have a persona. I can't just be animated on video or in person just because. I mean, we just have to click. And if we don't click, it just won't come out in me. Well, guess what? It still can come out in you. And you know how I know? Because I used to not be the one to make it click because I didn't. And guess what I did? I taught myself how to do that. And I practiced it all the time with everybody. And now I can have a conversation with myself, but I'm talking to you and I can, right? And we can make the energy happen, but it wasn't always like that. I wasn't always so animated. I mean, maybe I was, but I don't think I was. And you can ask my sister, ask my brother, ask somebody who knows me. But I practice. So you have to practice. And if you're on the date and you're like, but I don't want to be animated on the date, like I'm not feeling it, then you're there to practice. Practice for you, practice for them, and make it better.
Okay.
Yeah, hello.
Because I've only been on dates where I'm just like checked out. Because you
check out.
Some dates you go on and you show up and
I know, right away. Oof,
but I like that on those dates, use them for practice.
And not just practice, have in mind, who do I know for them? They're not for me. Who do I know for them? Who do I know for them? Practice for me, and who do I know for them? And that's it. And then we satisfy both sides.
They're about to come in the chat because I know you. We're not talking about leading anyone on. That's not what I'm saying. We've got a whole friendly versus flirty webinar. I'm not saying to lead someone on, but you also don't have to check out.
No, and practice being a better human being. Practice being a better companion, even if there's not going to be a second date. And you can still say at the end of the date, so lovely to meet you, and like have a good night. Or if you want to say it on your own, and you can say, this isn't for me, but it was really lovely to meet you. And thank you so much for a nice evening. Boom, done. Shut it down. You were sweet as sugar. If they have somebody in mind, they're going to set you up. Why? Because you're awesome. And if you know somebody for them, you're going to set them up. Why? Because they're not for you and you don't think they're awesome, right? So that's what we're going to do. All right, Sarah, next
up.
Yeah.
Is there, hold on, some of these questions, just going to put a little shout out there. Try to make your questions, like in your head, they're super obvious, but when I'm reading them, they're not always super obvious. So make them like as clear as possible. More words is better than none.
Think of your question and check it twice before you click submit.
Yeah. Otherwise, you see me on here thinking. Let's go with this one for now. How do you ask better questions to get those longer answers?
Okay. So this is
do that next week, right?
I forgot
Give
what we,
one tip. Let's give one tip because I think that's next week's webinar.
yeah.
But
Oh, thank you,
there we
Stanley.
go.
Open-ended questions. Okay. So not where do you live? What do you like about where you live? Ah, now I could tell a story, right? Not what do you do, but why did you get into that field? Okay. Anything that gives, if you ask a question and you say, well, it's what or in what way or how, usually tend to elicit open-ended questions. Do you like your job? That's yes or no. Don't ask yes or no questions. Don't ask one word questions. You have to ask things that lead to a story or to a few sentences. So if in your head, and if you can't get it right, by the way, practice before you got on a date, practice. Pretend you're sitting there. What are you going to say to them? Say it and be like, nope, that's a closed-ended question. Okay, reformulate. Oh, I got it. Right? You got to do it. This is like school.
And
Sorry.
by the way, I've totally done this where I've asked a question and then been like, wait, let me rephrase that. Like if you know once you're saying it and you're like, okay,
Yeah.
there's nowhere for this conversation to go, just rephrase it in a more exciting way.
That's an extroverted thing to do. As an introvert, I might not do that, but I have we're gonna argue about this forever.
It's not an
Me
argument.
neither. Me neither. Okay, great. So we're both introverts. How do you like them apples? Anyway, reformulate it. But if you're not super comfortable doing it and you mess up one question, no biggie. The next question you ask, follow up quickly. By the way, if it falls flat, whatever it is, just follow up quickly with another question and just like, oh, I'm so curious. Tell me more, ... about whatever. Okay. You can always use, I'm curious, tell me more. How did you get into something like that? Those are the kinds of things we want to
I
ask.
also really like the questions where you get to know about them and like on a personal level in terms of like feelings versus things. So like I will rarely ask someone, not like some random person, but like where I'm trying to get to know someone what they do, or I'll say, what do you do and do you enjoy it? Like, do you enjoy what you do? You'd be surprised by how many people don't like
those two. I'm sorry to tell you, Sarah. What do you do? I'm a dating coach. Do you enjoy what you do? Yes. Conversation over.
That's a very good point.
Reformulate. How are you going to reformulate? I'm putting her on the spot, people.
How do you like your
job? Come on.
I did. How do you like your job?
How do you like your job? Better might be like, what do you enjoy about your job, or what aspects do you like about your job?
Yeah. There we go.
Sarah's like, whatever.
No,
yeah, keep practicing. We're gonna get Sarah to work on this for next time. Don't worry.
No, I'm just reading a comment. In practice, I often forget to follow my own advice. There should be timeouts in dating to refocus. There should be like when Aleeza goes,
potty break.
Thinking. This is my thing. This is the sound of me thinking.
No, that's okay. When we're on the phone. And but you didn't preface that. When Sarah and I are on the phone and we're talking, and then she asks me something, and I realize that we're on the phone, and then there's this awkward silence. And I was like, you can't see me. This is the sound of me thinking, right? And that's what I tell people. And that happens, by the way, in dating when you're on the phone with somebody and you're like, awkward silences. Like, what is up with that? If you were in person, they would be like, you'd see their eyes go up or over or down. They'd be like, I'm not sure about that, right? Because they're processing and thinking, and you would see that, but you don't see that over the phone. So you have to know that pause is a moment for thought.
Yeah.
Deep thinking. It means you ask them something good.
Wouldn't that be nice if we had that in dating in a non-awkward way?
It's okay. It's kind of like the texting, like where you text somebody and then you get the ... like they're texting back. They're texting back.
You wait to see what they're texting.
You're waiting.
And they also stop because they're waiting.
They're waiting to see your text. Right. It's like this thinking, talking, thinking. Exactly. There's nothing to do about it over the phone, though. Sorry.
Marvin just summed up my question beautifully, reframed my question and said, what is the most rewarding thing about your job?
Oh, great question, Marvin. I love it. What's the most rewarding thing? Now we're tapping into values, right? What are you doing and what do you get from it? How do you feel about that? I love that question.
I'm trying to think what now it's gonna bug me because I'm trying to think what my question is, because it's not, do you enjoy your job? I'm gonna remember in a minute. As soon as I ask the next question, I'm gonna remember.
Bring it on.
After several dates, how do I ask questions about things? Sorry, this is not the question I meant to ask. What are the techniques to practice to be that person that people feed off of your awesome energy? Would that be like some good questions to ask that make good energy? And if so, can you share some?
I think better than the questions is you. Okay. So you could ask a little bit more of a boring question, but if you ask it and you lean in, or if you ask it and you're like, oh, I'm so curious, or again, with your tone, right? A little facial expression, something with your tone. I was thinking about what you said. Now I'm connecting that. I'm thinking about what you said and I'm wondering, and then you can lead into something. So it's a little bit of being verbally and physically and auditorily interesting, right? Like I kind of want you to be not just your best self, but you have to kind of put on a little bit of a show, not for the sake of a show, for the sake of somebody really seeing who you are. And it's very hard to see. I've been doing interviews for a bunch of different things recently. And I did an interview and met, of course, via video and, ask questions, where are you from? One word answer. What do you do? One word answer. Ask something else. Gave a longer answer. And they talked like this and they didn't move their face very much and they didn't have much intonation.
Wow, Aleeza,
And
that sounds really, really, really exciting.
right. And even if they would say yes or no, like you see, they would go, yeah, oh yeah, right. Is
Yeah.
this interesting? Would you be watching our webinars for 33 webinars or however many we've done if we talked to you like this the whole time?
Oh my gosh, Aleeza, I feel like people would totally watch us. I can't even
Yeah.
not do anything. I think that's reading in there.
Okay. But now look, what happened? My body kind of froze. My voice froze. My tone froze. Even my face when I was talking like this. I can talk to you like this, or I can talk to you like this. How would you rather look at my face? Would you rather look at me like this? Because when you look at me when I smile, you smile more. You feel happier when I smile at you, when I'm talking to you with a smile on my face. Now, you didn't make me smile. We're on a webinar. Besides seeing Sarah's face, I don't see any of you. I don't see any of your faces. So you're not giving me the energy to smile. Why am I doing this? How am I doing this? I'm doing this because if I don't do this, you won't come back. You won't like this. This will be very boring. This will be flat. This will be uninteresting. Disinteresting. You'll be uninterested and disinterested and whatever. You know what I mean, okay? And it's okay. See, I just said something and I'm like, I corrected myself and then blah blah. It doesn't matter. Be entertaining. Have a little something. I just was speaking on the phone to somebody today that I don't really know. They were so interesting. They were just with their voice and their language, and I was like, I want to be friends with you. I don't even really know you, but you seem fabulous. You have an energy that I want to connect to. Sarah's reading comments that are good.
Yeah, Fred is like on point tonight with the comments. Be the person your dog thinks you are.
What?
Someone awesome.
Oh, because
Someone
right, because dogs love you even if you're flat and boring and monotone. As long as you just say hello and snuggle them, they're the ones that are exciting and entertaining, and that's why you keep them around because they've got an energy.
Are you trying to say be the dog?
Okay, I like that.
That was meant to be a joke, and as I said out loud,
like this, the tail's wagging, and they're so excited. You're like, you walk in the door, and you're like, "Hey, what's up?" And they're like, "You're home! I'm so excited to see you." And you're like, "Good, because nobody else in the house is. Like, I'm happy to see you too." They're like, "Oh," and then you like ignore them, and 5 seconds later, you're like, "Come here," and they're like, "Oh, okay, I'll come here." Even though you ignored me for 5 minutes, I won't hold a grudge, right? They're just there by you, and it feels so good. Doesn't it feel much better to be around people like that? And isn't this why people get dogs, right? They want, if you don't like dogs, by the way, this is a horrible analogy for you. Just plug your ears. But it gives you so much energy. We got a dog. She's almost 1. Her birthday's in February, 5 days before we make Aliyah. Anyway, she's totally cute. And there is something special about it. Even when you tell them like, oh, don't do that. And they look and they like their tail goes down and they look at you. And then like 2 minutes later, they're like, oh, like a 2-year-old, happy to see you again. I forgot what happened 5 seconds ago. Be like a dog or a fish. Don't fish have very short memories and attention spans?
Yeah, but these fish are not very exciting.
Don't be like a fish. No, they some of them are. They're like, they you know, and the ones that are you know what? No, there are some interesting fish. Those ones that are like magnificent. They like move through the water, and you're like, oh, wow, now that's a fish. I don't even know what kind they are, but they're be one of those.
And also be a dolphin. Everyone loves dolphins.
Right,
Dolphins
because they like
dolphins do stuff. Dolphins put on a show, but they're not inauthentic.
And they make
Sarah, that was good on the spot. Okay, let's move on. We're not raising a zoo here.
Next.
Okay, we do need to pick up the pace a little bit. So
okay, faster Q&A, fast.
Question. So this was a follow-up on just because we started talking about jobs. Isn't what you do code for what is your salary? So I'm going to comment first, and then Aleeza, you can follow up. But I'm going to say, no, it's not. And I've heard that so many guys think it is. From a female perspective, I don't think what you do, no, anyone I know, and we've had this conversation, who says, what do you do, is not asking what is your salary. And I've heard from many guys that when they get asked the question, they make the assumption that the woman is trying to like dig out that information. So I say no. Aleeza says yes, apparently. Why do you say yes?
When did I say yes?
You just said yeah.
I was just listening to you. I didn't say anything. No, I think some people ask that and they really want to know how much you earn. But if they were Israeli, they'd just be like, what do you do? How much you earn? They would just ask you straight out. Yeah. But if they're American or other from other countries like England or somewhere in Europe, they might be more polite and just say, oh, what do you do? But when you tell me what you do, a little bit, it tells me about who you are. So if I say, what do you do? And you tell me, oh, I have like a little business. I do like a little marketing kind of thing, you know? Oh, what does that mean, right? How about, what do you do? Oh, I own my own freelance marketing company, which I started 2 years ago. And I take on clients from small to medium-sized businesses in the local area. Psh, much better answer. You know what? When I ask you what you do, confidence, backbone. I want to see that you have a spine. I want to see that you like what you do. Or if you don't like what you do, that you value what you do, right? You don't have to like it, but you might value it. Whether you value it because it's meaningful or you value it because it pays you an income. But I want to see there's something there about it. When you say like, what do you do? And you don't have a good answer that even you like, nobody else is going to like it either. And so much of what we do is a part of who we are because we spend hours a day doing it. So if you're not happy doing it, it's like, ooh, well, when are you happy? Because for a majority of your life, you're not. So formulate your answer and make it a good one. And if somebody wants to know how much you earn, they'll keep digging. Oh, well, you must have advanced in your company several times. Oh, it must be that, you're doing well for yourself. Okay, now they're digging and they want to know how much you earn. Either tell them or don't. Totally up to you. On a first date, it's none of their business. On the second date, it's still none of their business. Neither on the third. Not until like they're worth telling. Yeah.
All right. So, Aleeza, let's assume that someone has never been to any of your webinars before, so doesn't know all the content that many of us have heard before.
Okay.
So you were talking about initially that you should try until it's like a definite no, until it's just not working. Could you define what exactly does trying mean and what exactly does just not working mean?
Thank you for asking a detailed, specific question and really digging into it. So trying means putting on that smile, not pretending, but getting yourself into it as much as you can get into it to make your best effort and put your best foot forward. And not working means I can't do this anymore. You're a good person. You're not a good person for me. I don't like this. I'm dragging myself to every single date. This is really difficult. It's not making me happy. I'm not feeling good about this. I can't sleep at night. I don't even want to see you. Please don't call me back. I hope you dumped me. When you get into that point, unless it's severe anxiety, and this happens with everybody, if it's severe anxiety and you just wish that everybody would dump you so you don't have to dump them, then we have to deal with anxiety. But if it's not that, then we have to deal with the fact that you're just not so into them and you need to move on, and you need to be decisive and say, no, thank you. You're not my spouse. And when you say that in your mind, you know, I'm never going back. I'm never going to say maybe. This is done. This really is not a person that's for me.
All right. Thank you. There was something that popped into my brain and now I forgot. Oh well.
Welcome to my world.
Next up, if a date ignores your calls after you bombed a video date by interrupting a lot because you were nervous, how do you get them to give you another chance for another date?
So I'm going to take the Sarah approach on this one, and I'm going to tell you, be direct. Just write to them and say, listen, our video date, it didn't go so well, and it's my fault. I'm really sorry. I was nervous and I interrupted you a lot, and I would love an opportunity to speak with you again and that we can get into the rhythm of a conversation. So I'm going to tell you, this happens to many, many people. And recently I had an interaction with a client and I bombed the call, bombed it totally.
Wait, we need to talk about this after.
Okay. And afterwards I was like,
heard
oh,
this.
it just happened. I was like, oh, I got to call him back. I got to say something. Maybe I'll write something. I'll text it. I'll call. I was like formulating what I was going to do. Meantime, we had an appointment like the next week. So I was like, okay, so we'll talk the next week. But I was like formulating it. I was like, this is just, but it was bothering me. It was like really irritating me. What's the worst thing that happens? He messages me before I get a chance to say something. And I was like, you know what about that call? And I was like, I missed it. It was that I blew the opportunity. I should have said something. And I said, listen, I have to be honest with you. You have every right to say you don't want to work with me anymore and that this isn't going to work. And I would not only be okay with it, I would be on board with it because that last call was lousy. So first of all, we're going to not pretend like it never happened. We're going to acknowledge that it happened. You can have a credit for that, call. I'll give you another call. And I just want to say that I'm really sorry. And sometimes our energies are amiss. And sometimes, you say one thing or I say something, how like you don't get into a groove. Normally I'm in a groove with people. You see Sarah and I, like we have a good camera energy. We work. I'm good with energy. We're good with energy. Oh, Sarah, we're so good. But like there's something happening. And with clients also, like we get into a conversation energy where we can keep it going. And this was like an F. If I was in school, it wouldn't have been a D. It wouldn't have been a D minus. It would have been like F, fail, 100% do over. This was horrible. And I got on the call and I said, I have to tell you, there's no excuse for it. I don't have an excuse. It wasn't working, but we have a history of it working, right? We had one lousy call after having 8 great calls. And I'm really sorry about that. And I want to just take ownership for that. Like it wasn't working. So anyway, I think you should take ownership for it. And the feedback that I got was, wow, most people would try to justify it. They would say it was you and not me. It was, they would go through a whole thing. And I got credit for owning up to it. And it's not the easiest thing to own up to it. You own up to it and you feel like, I screwed up big time. I messed up so much. I really, really messed up. And you feel bad about it, but you could move on. What's the worst thing? Say nothing. And then the whole relationship's dead. Nothing. You don't get a second chance. Then there's nothing. You can't even go back to anything. And to be honest, at the end of this call, which just happened this week, the pick me up call, first of all, the first half of the call was very difficult because we were still on the tail end of dealing with all of it. And then the second half of the call, I was like, we got our groove back. Like we got in sync again. There was something that was much better than it was, but it can only work A, if you own up to it, and B, if the other person accepts that. So if this person on the other end didn't accept that, then that's it. It would have been over. The relationship would have been done. You could apologize till you're blue in the face. If they say no, thank you, it's a no, thank you. So you have to accept that if they do that. I got a second chance on this one. And I said, listen, you can cancel working with me later if you want. And I'll be happy to give you a refund. Like I'm not pushing to make something happen that can't happen, but I think there's potential for us to continue taking this to the next level.
Right.
And you just have to be real, like genuine. Genuine. Go ahead. Sorry, I had to go on about that.
Okay, so number one, how long is too long
Hmm.
to figure this out? To figure out whether
6 months.
okay, that was easy.
No more. I mean, that's on the super long end, like no more than 6 months. Most people can figure this out within a matter of 6 weeks.
Okay, and this came up a few times recently. So we know you're date him till you hate him, and
When in doubt, go out.
there we go.
You're
But can
welcome.
you just in 30 seconds tell us why that's not considered leading the other person on?
I
And
love
like
you.
the only reason to end it with someone if you can't stand them anymore.
Well, it's not just can't stand them. It's that it's really a no for you. Like it's a hundred. I'm not missing my person, Aleeza. In 2 years, I'm not going to come back and say maybe I should have given them more of a chance. Give them more of a chance today, and when the chance is over, you're done. You are never evaluating them again. As long as you're okay to walk away and say I'm never evaluating them again, then that's it. Then it's time to end it and move on. If you're still going, maybe figure it out today. Why are we not figuring it out today? We shouldn't let something that we can solve today fester and then disappear and then it eats at you. Oh, I should have given them a better chance. I should have tried. Should have. No shouldas. Just do it now, figure it out, and then move on. And it's not leading them on because this is the process of dating. The process of dating is you're my person, you're my person, you're not my person. You could be my person, maybe you're my person. I don't know. Okay, you're not my person, right? It's the process of dating. This is what we do to figure it out. So what are you going to do? Only date people that 100% sure in the beginning you know that you like them. But what happens if they don't like you? Would you want them? You're dating somebody. You like them. You're on board. They're not sure how much they like you. They're into it, but they're sort of in, but they're sort of out, but they're not 100% sure. Would you like them to break up with you? No. You want a chance to win them over. You want a chance to prove that this relationship has potential. You want an opportunity to build something. Now, don't tell me, oh, I don't want to chase. I don't want to. Yeah. I know. We don't want to do that either. But sometimes we don't want to not have the opportunity. What a loss not to have the opportunity to try to build something. So in the same way that you'd probably like somebody to give you more of an opportunity, and if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out, please give them more of an opportunity. And if it's your soulmate, you're going to thank me. You're going to be like, I didn't think it was my person for 3 weeks. I didn't think it. And then poof, something shifted and wow, they really are. And so I get those emails also. So I know that happens.
So are you saying date him, isn't date him till you hate him just a cutesy way of saying give him a chance to grow on you?
Okay.
I think it's yes and.
Yeah, yes. And if you just if you go to bed at night and you're like, and you wake up in the morning and you're going, oh, I don't want to deal with this, right? If you're just miserable about this whole thing, don't do it. Don't do it. Unless you have anxiety or depression or other things. And then that feeling could be related to that and not to this person.
Awesome. All right. Aleeza, rapid fire. What does it mean if a guy doesn't ask many questions about you in the first couple dates? Does it mean he's self-centered or just maybe that he's trying to impress more than be curious?
It could mean what you said. It could mean that he doesn't know how to ask great questions. It could mean that he doesn't have a super curious personality. It could mean that he heard about you and likes you and thinks that he knows enough about you. And it's not that he's not curious. It's just that he thinks he really knows you and he likes what he sees and he's on board.
And most girls don't like it. Just going to put it out there. They want,
yes.
We want to be.
Wait. Yes. So don't do it, guys. But people do it. So if you want to know what it means, that's what it means. But the bottom line is try not to do it.
Like really try. Okay. I feel like attraction ends up guiding the first few dates. And if it's not strong enough, then it typically goes no further. Do you have any advice about trying to get past the lower level of attraction than ideal?
Yes. First of all, we do have webinars on this, a chemistry one, what else do we have, Sarah? We've
flirting, maybe?
Yeah, a few things. The number one thing sorry about that. The number one thing that I tell people is to find one physical feature that you like. It could even be their hands. It could be their eyes. It could be the shape of their ears. It could be, I don't know, something. I'm making it up because we don't really care what it is. It has to be something. We need something to grab on. You might like their cheekbones or their smile or their chin or their jawline or their eyebrows. I don't know. I don't care what you like. Find something that you like and hyper focus on it and see if it can get you over the hurdle until they become a little bit easier on the eyes to you.
Awesome. Thank you. What about the
Sorry, I was
person?
deciding which question is good. Yeah, go.
What about the person you're dating is like, what if that person is really slow? And I know that you say you can only go as fast as the slowest person in a relationship. Isn't there a too slow?
Too slow means that you don't have the ability or patience to move at their pace. So for you, that's too slow. And then if you bail, but you're missing out on a potential person. So as long as you're cool with missing out on your potential person, you know, it's not too slow for them. It's only too slow for you.
Right.
Does that answer the question?
Makes sense. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Some people say to stop looking so hard and love will come. What do you think about that approach versus date a lot to find the right one? We literally talked about this last week, right? Or was it?
I was going to say, Sarah's all about taking a break and finding the one, but
I'm not though. I'm not. It just happens to work for so many people, but I'm not about it.
Yeah, the truth is, if you're an over dater, I do like when people cut back. If you're an under dater, I do like when people pick up the pace. And are you more likely to find them when you're dating lots of people? No, you're more likely to find them when you're dating fewer people. And the reason is that you're more focused on the people that you're dating and you might be even more selective. So you might have a better opportunity to meet the right one. If you're throwing darts at the board and you're just like giving it a shot and giving it a shot and giving it a shot and maybe, you're just going to have a lot of misses and you're going to be like, but I tried hard. I went out with 83 people in 72 days. And we're going to be like, could you imagine? Right? But it's just because you went out with that quantity of people doesn't mean you have a better chance of meeting your person. You need one person in the world, one human being, one. So you could date 82 people that are all wrong for you, or you could just date about 10 people that one is right for
you. Boom. So we talked about specifics, but in general, how do you get your date to give you another chance to see your greatness?
It's hard. People are hard to be convinced. If matchmakers do it, friends do it, parents do it. I like to set it up where we agree that we're either going to, if it's a decent match, we'll go out on 3 dates from the beginning. If it's horrible, we say no, but that just, we have a mindset of 3 dates. But how do you get somebody else to do that? You can't. You really can't. You can't force somebody. You can be enticing, you can be entertaining, you can be engaging, you can be fun, you can be playful. You can be a lot of things with somebody, but you can't get them to do something that they don't want to do.
That makes sense. How do you convince someone to have another date if they ignore your phone calls but not your texts?
Yeah, those texters and the forever long texting and I'm busy with work, but I'll talk to you later and then I'll talk to you at night because I'm really bored and it'll go on for 2 weeks and it'll go on for 3 weeks and then I'm not a super big fan. I would just pull a Sarah and be like, I'd love to get to know you better, even for ladies. I'd love to get to know you better. And if you want to go out sometime, let me know. You know, I'm not really available to chat right now. Like, put it out there. I'm interested. I'm open. I'm game. Oh, you just want to chat? No, thank you.
Awesome. So there's a little bit of chatting going on in the chat. And regarding like men not reciprocating questions to the women and then like, well, men don't want to waste their time and energy and money and whatever. So I think we're just to set that everyone has to put in effort. I don't think anyone's putting in more effort than the other. It takes time and energy from the women. It takes time and energy from the men. And everyone, if you're showing up to the date, show up. And if you don't feel like dating, take a break. Don't show up and not be present. Don't show up and check out just because you're not feeling it. Like, it's just not fair to anyone.
Right.
That's my little rant. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. All right.
We love you,
Last question, And then we got to wrap up. There are some questions that we didn't get to, and I apologize. Come back next week. But we just can't get to all of them with the time that we have. So what are some actions that men do to signal they're really interested in you versus just wanting to date and have some fun?
Profiles usually say something about, just looking to date or looking for a friend or looking to hang out or do something. Marriage-minded people talk about, families or looking for the one. If they're on a date, they usually are a little bit more focused. They look at you in the eye or they just engage with you in conversation more. If it's just more playful or a little bit light and fluffy and a little bit of nothingness, you need to find out, are they stable and grounded in their job? Are they stable and grounded in their life? Are they really looking for a life partner? And you don't want to ask the life partner thing, but you can kind of see, like, are they floating in life? Do they love hanging out with their friends and they're always with their friends? And they're not shifting to, I'm going to be with my person, I'm going to get married. Those are symbols that they're just not 100% there yet. But there are people still that, well, until I meet my person, I'm still obviously going to be hanging out with my friends, but they're sincerely looking for somebody. So people that are willing to pay for, whether it's dating, websites or matchmakers or people to support them through the process, you're going to find more serious people there. If you're just on one of those apps and you're swiping, we don't really know. And if their behaviors leave you feeling a little bit concerned, like, oh, I don't think this is it, then that's normal. And that happens sometimes. And we just, like, you could go out 2 or 3 times, you could see if anything happens, but if not, and we could move on.
All right, we got one more question that I really want to bring up because it's something we didn't have recently, but if you just asked a question, I just asked you to follow up. So Aleeza, you go ahead, tell us how we could, just tell us more about working with a marriage-minded mentor, and then we'll close out with that last question.
Oh, that's fun. We're going to save the last question. I love that. Okay. So first of all, thank you again to, we'll bring Jess on at the end. We'll do fast pass at the end. Okay. So we're going to start with marriage-minded mentor. We are a marriage-minded mentor. I'm Aleeza Ben Shalom, as you know, and I have a whole team of coaches that are trained and they have the marriage-minded mentor way, and kind of like, a similar feel where we really take really good care of our people. We love coaching and supporting our singles. And so we've got a whole team that, like, everybody does something different. So if you're a woman in your 20s and 30s, Reagan is an awesome fit for you. And she can help you before dating, getting the momentum going, finding the right, resources, fixing the profiles, getting things moving. Or if you're in a relationship and you're like, I don't know, it's one of those maybes. Great. She can totally help you with that. If you are men or women of any age or stage or background, you might want to consider working with Michael or Shira, and they are phenomenal at helping to guide people through the dating process, again, before, during, or after. Alana Brown is great. She has a background, in addition to being a coach and a matchmaker and a therapist, she has the ability to really go deep. So if you're like, oh, I want coaching, but like, I don't want like just help with a profile. Like, I've got some things I want to work on that are a little bit deeper. She's phenomenal for that. And Leah, who does a Jewish based personality analysis, is coming off maternity leave soon. And so if that's something that you're interested in, you can email her at Leah, Leah at marriagemindedmentor.com and follow up with her. And for all the other coaches, if you're like, wait, what do I do? What do I do? So if you're interested in anybody I mentioned, you should totally go to marriagemindedmentor.com and sign up with them. We have a free 15-minute intro call. You can interview them. You can get to know them. And if you think they're a great fit, then you can work with them. And right now I have extremely limited time because I'm making Aliyah in 5 weeks. And so you can always sign up with me for a free also intro 15-minute call. And if you're not sure like which coach and what service and what do you need, then just call me and I will tell you, because I'm a good matchmaker too, and we can fit you with the right coach and figure all that out. And in terms of matchmaking, because people are like, oh, will you set us up? So if you want matchmaking, like straight up matchmaking, you can go to Jessica at Fast Fast to Love. She will totally help you. If you're open to matchmaking with coaching, that's the only way that we'll do it, because we are hardcore believers of coaching being something that's extremely beneficial to get you to the chuppah. And so we've been dabbling with matchmaking and coaching packages. There's not information on the website about that because that's new, at least not today. And if you want to know more about it, just set up a call with me and we can talk about it. And Sarah's going to ask one more question, and then we are going to bring Jessica on for a quick hello.
Okay, so I did not.
Oh, wait, no, sorry. One more thing. Okay, we're running a 6-week course right now. It is called Master Your Dating Mindset. It started on Monday, but it's like a self-paced course. We're going to have a live Q&A on Sunday, only for members. If you are interested, you've got till midnight. Go to marriagemindedmentor.com/events and find the course, which is called Master Your Dating Mindset, and sign up. It's 6 weeks. It's $97. There's a WhatsApp group, which is hopping and happening. It's so engaging. I'm actually excited to be in it. I'm like, oh, yeah, we're like moving through this mastering your mindset and getting in gear. And it's been phenomenal. And you get your video, you get your worksheet, and then we're going to do the live Q&A also. So that with the WhatsApp chat, and it's a whole 6-week thing. If you're like, I just want more, Aleeza, I want more. This is a great way to get more. And we have like-minded people with this energy, this community energy that's going. And I feel like we're like creating this master energy that is going to draw your soulmate. So if you're interested in that, take a look, get curious, sign up, and we would absolutely love to add you to the group and introduce you.
Awesome. All right. So I did not get a follow-up to that question, but I'm going to ask it anyway. What about a guy who only calls to set a date with no calls in between dates? So I wanted to know, how often are the dates? So Aleeza, I guess, answer that question.
Let's just say the dates are once a week, and then there's no contact in between once a week, right? And so you're feeling like there's no momentum, like, yay, I went on a date and that was nice. And then you just call to set up another date, but then there's like nothing. There's radio silence for a whole week. If he's calling to set up a date, men are really simple in this way. Most men, if they are calling to set up a date, it means that they like you. If they don't call you in between, but they call you to set up a date, it means that they like you and they're still into you. Otherwise, they wouldn't be calling to set up a date. It's like, that's it. It is that simple. Not with every man, but with that type of a situation. Every time when I talk to guys, they're like, yeah, I mean, I guess if I didn't want to go out with her, I mean, I just wouldn't call her back. I was like, right. They're like, if I'm calling her back, it's because there's something there. Yeah. So that's the easy way around that.
Awesome. Thank you.
Okay. So can you do it, or do I have to promote Jess? Me, right?
Ooh, yeah.
Okay. So while I'm doing this, I also want to tell you that if you're watching a replay and you're like, what? You don't have that course anymore. So we're going to be running courses all throughout the year. And you can just check out Sarah. We're going to have to create a course page, by the way.
Yeah, please.
Change role to panelist. Okay, Jess. I might have to promote her beyond that. Let's see if we can get the video on.
No, please, I set it up. All panelists have video.
Okay. Oh, yay! Yay! Hello, Jessica. Welcome.
It worked.
So happy to have you here with us.
So happy to be here as usual. Thanks for having me on and sponsoring again. Aleeza's webinars are the best, everyone. I hope you're enjoying all of this valuable content she gives, and you can watch it anytime now on demand. It's amazing. And all my clients, I tell them they all should watch all her webinars. I can't force, but it's highly suggested to watch all of them. All very relevant.
Awesome. So Jessica is an award-winning international matchmaker who has been setting people up everywhere from Tel Aviv all the way to California, Texas, East Coast, Canada. You're really all over the globe.
Very completely international. Started the business in Tel Aviv, moved back to where I'm from, LA. So I'm jealous Aleeza's going back to my other homeland.
You're gonna come back. I know it.
And I visit every year. Yeah. So I'm pre-pandemic.
No, there's a magnetic pull. You and Sarah, like this. Exactly. I am drawing you. You're gonna be.
She's like, yes, and I'm just eye roll.
Sarah's coming, but you're coming too. Because all the people that I love follow me. They just come, you know? So
Yeah, true. I might be back.
magnetic energy. Anyway, in addition to working with you, if somebody's like, oh, I don't know if I want to work with a matchmaker, people can just sign up and enter and be in your free database, and they could potentially be matched with one of your clients. There's a lot of ways to be involved with you, right? Tell us a little
Right.
bit more.
Yeah, you can go to my website, fastpasstolove.com. I came from the Disneyland Fast Pass, which unfortunately Disneyland is not in service right now, but Disney World is. So you can still get a Fast Pass there. So when I was coming up with my business name, it was perfect for me because I help you cut to the front of the line to get to love, and not wait in line behind everybody. So you go to the website, fill out the free profile, and then you have an opportunity to be matched with a VIP client. And I only take on like 2 VIPs per month. And then also we do like the Teach You to Be Your Own Matchmaker program, which is doing a consultation for about 2.5 hours on Zoom. And we'll go over your online dating profile. We'll screen share. I'll help you write messages together. I call it like you need a personal trainer for the gym to lift weights correctly. So you need a personal trainer for love to help you brand yourself accurately on online dating and write the right kinds of messages, because so many people are just accidentally messing up by not writing thoughtful, insightful messages to each other. So that's very affordable, the Be Your Own Matchmaker. And then when you work with me as VIP client, you get some coaching with Aleeza, you get a professional fashion stylist, a professional photo shoot. We really treat you like you are the queen, the king, the star of the show. You are the star of your show and your own love life. And so it's like a very premium experience, and it's usually a year long, and we can talk more about it after you do when you do a consultation with me. We'll discuss it. It's not for everyone. It's an investment, and also of your heart. But at least you have Aleeza and I to bounce things off of. You're not going through it alone. So every match will screen for you. We'll do a detailed feedback call. We'll become friends with your match and see what they're thinking. So we're really like, it's a more handheld process. And you can also be your own matchmaker. You can do coaching with Aleeza, and then you're also your own matchmaker, and she's coaching you through it. So love collaborating with Aleeza. Love that she's working with all my VIPs right now. So definitely work with one of us. Or a coach on Aleeza's team. Just find yourself the right support person. It could be a matchmaker, could be a coach, and we'd love to
be a friend. It could be anybody. And also, Jess, I said that we've been doing tons of events. So if they look on your page, they're going to see all of those things are there. Anything that's coming up, especially I said we have Valentine's Day events coming up, and other things throughout the next couple of weeks. So it's good to tap in, and it's just another network. Like you'll get an email, you'll be like, I need my golden nugget for the week. What am I going to do for dating? And you get Jess's email, and you're like, oh, look at that. Did you know about this? Did you know about that? Like Jess is, by the way, super connected to everything dating, matchmaking related. When I want to know information, I'm like, can you send me that blah, blah, blah that tells you like all the groups and all the places to be and all the things to do? And she's like, yeah, don't worry. I've got it all sorted out. So when you're in her network, you get all that information as well. Awesome.
Yeah, thanks, Aleeza. So I put my website there. Our Valentine's Day event, I had put the link earlier for the 50s plus because that event is live, and we're working on the one for 20s, 30s, 40s. So we don't have the link yet, but Aleeza and I will both email it out to our lists when it's ready. So we have a Valentine's Day event. Aleeza and I will be working in the morning on Valentine's Day and in the evening, partying with all of you on Zoom. It's great that it's on a Sunday, so we can do that.
Yeah, totally, on a Sunday. Awesome. Well, thank you so much for coming. Thank you for sponsoring and being here with us. And thank you everybody who joins us every week. It really makes us happy, and we keep doing it because you keep showing up. Like if our numbers went to like 5 people showing up, it would be really hard to continue. But we see that hundreds of people are watching the webinars and the replays, and it's just getting out there and it's getting around. Can I tell them a secret, Sarah? If you're already watching this and you like signed in here and whatever, just if you want to know ahead of time, go to YouTube and click subscribe on Marriage Minded Mentor. You're going to see as soon as Sarah uploads the video, it's going to be there.
That was a real secret.
That was a real secret. Don't tell anybody. And if you want, you can find us on Instagram, / Marriage Minded Mentor. You can find us on Facebook / Marriage Minded Mentor. Just find us everywhere and friend us because we like friends. It makes us super duper happy. And we try to do a lot of entertaining things. And we take everything that you say into consideration. So when we get emails from people, I'm like, Sarah, what about this? She goes, how many people said we should do it? And I'm like, 2. And she goes, nope, not enough. Sarah, I got 6 emails. All right. Yeah. Okay. Let's do it. Let's do it. Right. So if you have thoughts, if you have ideas, if you have things that you want to see, we are very open to hearing them, and we will craft events. We will craft webinars. We will craft courses. We will craft programs for you based on what you want, because we love crafting things. And I just tell Sarah, I'm like, oh, new idea. She's like, okay, what is it? She's like, that's my project for the next week. So there's lots of things for us to do. We are so happy that you're here with us, and we hope that you have an awesome night. And we also hope that you never have to see us again, because you get engaged like next week, and then you never have to watch another webinar, and you can just send us all of your friends. True? True. Awesome. All right. Everybody have a fantastic night. Thank you, Jessica, for coming on. Thank you, Sarah,
Thank
as
you.
always. And thank you, everybody, for being with us.
Love to everyone. Good night.
Good night.